And what's happening in Texas is a great example of this. I don't know if you've heard of the Beef Initiative.
No, tell me.
The Beef Initiative. So my job in this, first of all, let me just tell you what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Anyone who's millennial, older millennial, I am here to mentor, help, do anything I can to make your life better, because I think my generation fucked up. And I wasn't paying attention who was in city council or who was on the school board. Those were just losers who couldn't get a better gig. And I was having party, 80s, 90s, making money, having a good time, family, you know. And then you wake up one day and like, holy crap, what is going on in our cities? What is going on in our schools? And how political is this? How many people do you need to run something this poorly? And so this needs to be changed. I do not think that we can fix finance, education, medicine, well, those are the key ones, security. I don't think we can fix those with the current institutions. They have to collapse unto themselves. That's starting to happen. You're seeing the CDC, which only 2 years ago was the gold standard of communicating to the American people about health issues. Yeah, they really weren't prepared. They don't know how to do this. It's not the right agency, because a lot of fuck-ups happened. A lot of bad advice, a lot of advice based on data that was dodgy that they're now, admitting to. So no one will get in trouble. The faceless CDC is going to collapse, and they'll create something new. What is happening is we're in a way, the globalists are going further in globalization. We're deglobalizing. So we're creating our own networks. And by that simple form, ActivityPub, Mastodon, our social networks, we've shored that up, and that will continue. The true freedom of speech, the ability to just say what you want and have people hear it uninterrupted, that's podcasting. My job is to protect podcasting.
Thank you, by the way.
Thank you. We can get into what that means, because we have had to do some work and still have work to do. There are guys my age coming out of retirement, like Texas Slim, who was sixth generation way up north, and he says, our children are eating shit. I mean, as we munch on a Starbucks. He says, and he has developed a concept called food intelligence, and he is an analyst, and he has quite a background in this. But he also has been a rancher with his family for all these generations. And he has seen and knows how there's only a few processors who process beef, animal protein, let's put it that way. And they are all moving towards soy and other vegetable or a plant-based fake meat protein. And it's much more efficient. It's the plan. I can prove it to you. Everyone's moving in this direction. Ultimately, with climate change, green initiatives, they will make beef
the enemy.
Not just the enemy, but also unaffordable. And I believe it's to keep us just well enough to keep functioning. And it'll be monitored all the way from the source of the food, all smart monitors, carbon credit calculations, how much you should really pay for it, how much you consumed of it. All of these things are going to be connected, because that's really what they want. This is the technocracy.
Let me just tell you before you start that, I spent 2 years as a vegan. I've got a really interesting perspective on it. What happened was my mum got cancer, and she researched every single thing to do, and she cut out sugar, meat, and alcohol. Mm-hmm. And that was just something she read, and she got super healthy. And so I went vegan with her. But at this time, it was at the time my company collapsed. So I took a year off work, and I would source all my veg, and I would cook everything. And I got in great shape. I was very, very healthy. Then I went back to work, and I started moving from cooking all my fresh own meals to having substitute meats, sandwiches, pastas. And I essentially got ill. I was tired all the time, headaches. So I went back to eating meat, and I was fine. I'm not anti-vegan. I think you can do it if you have time to prep and look after your meals. Mm-hmm. And I fully support anyone who wants to do it. But the substitutes are terrible.
They are, and they're very bad for you. And they're filled with all. I mean, I just learned that DSM, Royal DSM in the Netherlands, used to be a chemical company when I was growing up. They are now the world's largest producer of soy and plant-based protein products for color, taste, and texture. It's all fake. It's all phony. So Of course, in principle, I agree with this. And Slim was saying, hey, look, you even got to go back to the source of the seed of the grass to get the right stuff you need that you need for your body. And he's just a believer in animal protein. And I said, look, can you show me something compelling? What really will show me that I should be eating beef really straight from my rancher? He says, look at these pictures. This is my family. This is my family throughout the years. Texas, not a great place to grow vegetables, but we get by. These people have been living for 6 generations on animal protein. How do they look? And he says, now look at a picture of some people from Houston, some people from Dallas, some people in Austin, obese. And he says, of course, you need to stop drinking, pure sugar from McDonald's. But when you go to pure animal protein, it just works very well with our bodies. And that was very convincing for me. So what he has set up and continues to set up is networks. And this is what we have to do. Networks, just like Mastodon, it's open source. One thing is starting to bind us all, and that's Bitcoin, because that's a network everyone understands. You don't have to speak the same language, but you speak Bitcoin, I'm good with you, right? I already know who you are. I know what you're thinking. I know enough about you. So now ranchers are accepting Bitcoin in payment from people directly. They're setting up their own processing centers. Texas is unique. You can actually do that. You can process without the USDA getting involved if it's your own product. And now we're putting together distribution. So we will have food for people who are in the network and who can find us. That will be available because it's going to become unaffordable. It's on its way very quickly.